So it's that time of the year when the YouTube videos are circulating. People are gathering magazines so that they can rip out the pictures to go to vision board workshop, vision board parties, or they're just hosting their own parties or getting a glass of wine and creating their own vision board. That somewhat used to be my process. Maybe about 5 or 6 years ago, my daughter and I would get together, gather all the magazines, and start cutting things out, whether it was words, phrases, pictures, to represent the visions that we want to create. But then, if you've been following me, you know that I no longer do that because those pictures are just of random things, and I want my vision to represent me. So if you're curious as to how I go about creating my vision board, how I manifest things into my life, keep watching this video. I'm Sherry from SherryLouMiller.com, and today we're going to go through an entirely new process because this year, for my 2024-2025 vision board, I'm doing things a little differently. So as you know, I will link several videos below of my process for using Canva to create a digital vision board. But I incorporate several things into mine. One, I script, because script allows you to write down things in detail and somewhat capture your emotions and your feelings about the things you want. How will you feel when you acquire or start living the life that you want to live? But more importantly, too, these vision boards that a lot of people create, they're just images. And you put the vision board on your wall or you set it somewhere, you frame it, and it represents the life that you want. But there it is, just sitting there, staring at you, mocking you. So if there is no action or anything else to go along with this collage that you're creating, chances are you may not manifest these things into your life. Now in 2022, 2 years ago, I made a series, video 1, about what is the intention behind your vision board, and also creating a word of the year to set the tone for your year. So mine is faith. 2, to do a life audit. And the purpose of the life audit is that you need a baseline. You need to know, where are you starting now? What person are you now? Are you living, or are you even close to embodying the things that the future version of yourself, the person that's in your vision who's living that life, are you even close to that person? 3 back then was actually creating a plan, bringing everything together. Somewhat going to follow that framework today, but I'm going to do it a little differently. So 1, like I said, we need feelings, which is why I include scripting with mine. But also, so that this isn't just a collage of pictures that represent the life you want, you have to do something. You have to take action. So I am starting a 21-day challenge on January 1st on my Instagram page. So right here is my Instagram, and it'll be linked in the description below too. So every day you can just show up for 21 days. There'll be prompts, and it keeps you involved in the vision. It helps you to build momentum behind the life that you want to live, behind the future version of yourself, to start embodying that person every day. Because your vision, and that's why I've named it somewhat, I keep changing it, but right now it's vision board in action, because there has to be some type of action behind the vision. There has to be some emotions, some feelings. You need to make conscious choices. You're not just going to automatically turn into the person who can live that life. It's going to take some effort on your part. Well, not necessarily effort, but you're going to have to make intentional choices and take actions every day to start moving in the direction of your vision. So it will be a free challenge on Instagram. You show up, it'll be a journaling prompt. As the community grows, we can support each other. Everybody encourage someone else to pursue their dreams. So we're going to walk through, because I will also put a link in the description for a few free Canva templates. Now, if you don't have a Canva account, then you'll have to open a free one. But the things that are involved, you won't need a pro account, which I think is $14.99. But if you have one, if not, you can just download it for free. But we're also on the vision board. When you create the vision board, put some captions behind either affirmations or things that you want to feel. So if you have yourself on a trip in Europe, how do you want to feel over there? Are you excited to be experiencing a new culture? Are you enjoying the discovery aspect? For me, I haven't been outside the United States other than Canada. So when I go over to Europe, it'll be beyond excitement. Just to be in another culture, experiencing different things, new foods, new people, the energy of that culture, like all of these things, they need to be incorporated on your vision board. So we're going to kind of walk through that right now. I'm going to open up my Canva. I'm going to show you my vision board and then also the templates that you can use to create your own. So here we are inside of my vision board. So you see, I don't just include pictures. I also include different phrases and captions. So this is the story of my life. I have my business brand here, family. My word of the year is faith. I've switched from the Bronco to the Audi. This is the magazine that I made last year because it still represents the year I want to live, mastering the art of audacious living. Choose without fear, dream without limits. Be bold, be courageous, be determined. A life full of abundance. Here I am still. How I will feel joy when everything is paid in full. I'm living my dream. I've decided that instead of owning a home in one specific destination and snowbirding there, that every year I want to travel somewhere for the snowbird season. So Portugal, because I've been wanting to go there for a while, Berlin, Italy, and I haven't decided where in Italy, and Amsterdam. Financial freedom, still focusing on my business because having freedom as far as finances and time is very important to me. And then my journaling business has been added, the branding to build my YouTube community. I will have a journaling club, Micah, based on the Micah principles. And then I want to relocate and I found my home. Here I am. I put myself in front of the house and home sweet home. So these are all visual things, and that's why I like to use the digital, because I can see myself in the pictures versus magazines. But even if you do the magazine method, even then still, when I went through magazines, I would tear out different phrases and words that represented the year that I wanted to have or the feelings that I wanted to create. Affirmations that reflected the life I wanted to live. So these are all things that I've always included, even when I did the magazine version. So if you take a look at the template, this is the template, and all you do, I'll post a video in the description that you can watch how I actually create these. But you basically you upload some pictures. There's off to the side where you can't see over, there is a menu. If you've used, I have various videos on how to use Canva, but you just drag the pictures. These are all frames, and they'll start to fill in the pictures. If you double click on it, you can move the picture itself around. You can make it larger if you wanted to capture just a certain part of the picture, and then use that to move it up and down. So as I stated in the description, I will link 2 different templates that you can use, or if you just have a Canva account or open a free account and you search for vision board templates, you can get something different. But I would encourage you to not only put pictures in, but where these are just text boxes to override what I have in here, or you can leave it and create your own emotions that you want to put next to the picture that represents that particular part of your life that you're trying to manifest. Here you can change the font. There are different fonts. If this doesn't come in, because I don't know, I didn't pay attention if this was a free font versus a pro font, but it'll just default to something else. And when you click on it, you can underline it. if bold is available, you can change the color. So you can do all these things, but I'm not going to go through that because if you look at my older videos on the channel, I've done a lot of videos on how to use Canva. So the other template that I'm going to include allows you to put a few more larger pictures in here, but it's the same concept, because really what I'm encouraging you to do is not only take the images, but also put some text behind it. And what the challenge will do is this, you will have where you are now. We're still going to do that process. But you will also have this vision board to represent the vision that you're moving towards. So the framework is somewhat similar through the three-part process that I did 2 years ago. You want to know or set your intention, because you want to know why do you want these things. And your intention along with the word of the year provides clarity. So when you have clarity on something, you know why you want it. That helps you to make more intentional choices. It will align your actions throughout the year towards your vision. So you're just not putting a collage of pictures together, hoping and wishing and repeating affirmations over and over every day to try to turn this dream into a reality. You're actually doing something. You're moving daily, small steps every day. And then the challenge, the 21-day challenge to help jumpstart the year, which starts on January 1st on my Instagram page, that helps you to create momentum. And you start to build momentum, and then you start to be conscious that every day you're doing something. And if it isn't every day, often, quite often, you're doing something that moves yourself in that direction, so that you're not sprinkling fairy dust on something and thinking it's going to materialize. If you watched a video from several years ago, I had planned to retire in 2018 or leave corporate America in 2018 versus 2019. And it was going to be my birthday of 2018. Told everybody I was going to do it. But when I got to my birthday and it didn't happen, and I wasn't even close to it happening, when I reflected, I had done nothing, absolutely nothing to make that dream a reality. I don't know. I guess I thought a genie was going to come and grant me 3 wishes or something. I don't really know. But I was so disappointed. I don't know why, but I was. Yes, I was very disappointed. That's when I put things in motion. So that year for my birthday, I looked at, I hadn't done anything to really retire in 2018. And that's the fourth quarter that I tested out Etsy. And by July 19th of the following year, 2019, I left my corporate job. In that fourth quarter of 2019, I had the best month in the history of my shop. So I had to start putting action behind the vision that I wanted. It wasn't just going to materialize out of thin air. So just to recap, you're going to think about your vision, and you're going to think about the intention behind it. Choose a word of the year if you want. I highly suggest it. You're going to do a life audit. Don't have to cover every category like the video states. What categories in your life do you want to change? So for me, this year, it's focused much more on my lifestyle and my business. That's pretty much most of the things on my vision board. And then you start to create the plan. So you look at your vision and you start to think about, okay, well, right now, I don't embody everything that I need to actually live this life. And you start to become intentional about your choices. In order to manifest these things, you have to get intentional. And that's like, faith is grounding me this year, because I lost sight of that before. So I'm going to use that word again this year as my guiding light to keep me focused on my vision, because the journaling business is a much bigger venture, I think, than me just starting an Etsy shop doing printables. Even though that took some work, don't get me wrong, but this will take a lot more effort on my part for different components, to build the audience, to create the product, to have it manufactured, there are a lot more moving parts. And I can't allow myself to go down a rabbit hole that it may not work out. So I'm going to rely on my faith and my vision to keep me moving forward. And I do take small steps every day. Some days I take some really big ones, but most days I just try to do 1 or 2 things every day to move me forward. And that has been working out a lot better, especially with social media, because Pinterest, you try as I might, I had just not been able to keep up and be consistent, even using Tailwind. But when I started just, okay, maybe do 1 or 2 pins for this, 1 or 2 pins for that, it didn't seem as overwhelming because I know myself and I know that I have a tendency to avoid things that I don't like to do. And that is just the reality of that. So lastly, you're going to bring it all together. Now, what I'm going to suggest too, because this is a vision board in action, is not only are you creating the vision that is what you're looking towards, is, you look at that gives you motivation to keep moving forward. You're putting words, affirmations, sayings, things that represent what you want to feel related to those images. But I'm also going to suggest that you keep pictures throughout the year that either show you, because nobody says it's going to take a whole year for it to manifest. You may choose something in a month or two, you've achieved it. It's manifested in your life. As you see those things materializing, take a picture of it, because it's motivation to keep you going. Because most of us have more than one thing on our vision board. And so some don't come about in a year, some come about very quickly. So to keep yourself motivated and on point, I'm suggesting that take pictures for various milestones. And even if you see that you've achieved something that you're 1 step away from what you want to manifest, take a picture of that too. Because what this does, it creates a living vision of your life unfolding. It's your journey. You can see it step by step coming to pass. And as you see that, as you start to visualize it and your subconscious picks up on it and thinks you already have it, these things will start to come into your life. Set your intention, word of the year. Life audit, where are you now? 3, create your plan. And 4, I strongly suggest you create a vision. Use the templates that I've given you to also document your vision manifesting. So if you don't forget, join me on the challenge. I'm really trying to build a community where we support each other, because the energy behind and the stories behind all this, it just adds momentum and motivation, because it's very easy to fall off, especially when you're doing something over the course of 12 months or so. You can lose focus, and if you lose focus, you lose momentum. So join me over on Instagram on January 1st. The challenge kicks off. Don't forget, give it a thumbs up if you found value. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so that you receive notification whenever I post a video. And I will start back up on the hero's journey, step 7, sometime next week. Happy New Year, and enjoy the rest of your holiday season.